Welcome to Speak English Podcast with your host, Georgiana.
Hi everyone, I'm Georgiana, founder of SpeakEnglishPodcast.com. My mission is to help you to speak English fluently. In this episode, I'll talk about plateaus when learning English. After that, we learn grammar intuitively with a point of view short lesson. Okay, let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic: plateaus when learning English. Okay, so what is a plateau? A plateau occurs when you stop your progress despite continuing to do all the right things. An interesting expression for this situation is to hit plateau. For example, it seems I hit plateau because I don't see any progress with my English, and I'm still studying hard. More literally, a plateau is a large flat area of land. This definition makes total sense, because if you're walking on a plateau, you are not going up or down, you stay at the same height. Plateaus are very common not only in learning a new language, but in other areas. For example, a very common one is losing weight. Imagine someone who has been on a diet and has lost some weight. But then, after 2 months, they stop losing weight. He or she follows the same diet, but their weight is the same. The main problem here is not the diet. It's just that the body needs some time before starting losing weight again. It has to adapt to the new situation. But here's the thing. When it comes to learning English, it's a dangerous situation. It's very common to find this sequence among English students. They start learning English and they get very excited. They experience a lot of progress. They are improving fast. After some time of continuous improvement, they hit plateau. Since they don't see results, they lose motivation. Finally, they quit. As you can see, this is the main reason why students quit learning English. They don't see results, so they quit. Like I've just explained before with the diet, when learning a language, the reason we all hit plateaus is that our brain needs time. Time to organize the new vocabulary, sounds, pronunciation, patterns, etc. This is a complicated task. That's why we stop progressing. The most important thing to remember here is that we need to keep going. In other words, if you hit plateau, it doesn't matter. You want to invest the same amount of time as before. I promise you that sooner or later, you will be able to see results again. Or, you can be more aggressive. For a short period, you can double your efforts. That helps to get out of a plateau. For example, instead of 1 hour a day, you can spend 2 or 3 hours listening to your favorite English podcast. It can even be fun. So here's my piece of advice. It doesn't matter if you hit plateau. What matters is that you have fun. You'll see more progress. You have to keep going. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Here I'll use the point of view technique. This kind of story will help you to improve your English grammar. It's very simple. I tell you the same story more than once. Every time I change a grammatical aspect, so you can see how grammar changes and you can compare. You just have to listen. Okay, let's start. 2 years ago, I started learning English. I was very excited about the opportunity to learn a new language. I was very committed, and I was very sure I would be successful because I chose a different and more effective approach. I plan to spend 2 hours each day listening to English lessons. The first week felt a bit difficult because I was not used to the new sounds, but I got used to it. After 2 weeks, I started to feel more comfortable. Although sometimes I had to stop the audio just to have more time to understand. After 3 months, I saw that my English got much better. The material I used in the first month was much easier, and I didn't need to pause the audio. However, after 4 months, my English was more or less the same, or at least it's how I felt. I tried more advanced materials, but I found them too difficult. I didn't know what to do. I decided to change my approach. Instead of just listening for 2 hours a day, I would listen for 3 hours, not only at home, but also when I was driving and while I was doing exercise. I didn't notice any progress in the first 2 weeks. But after that, I noticed that my English was improving again. That was very exciting, and since then, I tried to listen to English audios at least 2 hours each day. Very well. Now I'm going to tell you the same story using the future tense. 2 years from now, I'll start learning English. I'll be very excited about the opportunity to learn a new language. I'll be very committed, and I'll be very sure that I'll be successful because I'll choose a different and more effective approach. I will plan to spend 2 hours each day listening to English lessons. The first week will be a bit difficult because I will not be used to the new sounds, but I'll get used to it. After 2 weeks, I'll start to feel more comfortable, although sometimes I'll have to stop the audio just to have more time to understand. After 3 months, I'll see that my English will be better. The material I'll use in the first month will be much easier, and I won't need to pause the audio. However, after 4 months, my English will be more or less the same, or at least it's how I'll feel. I'll try more advanced materials, but I'll find them too difficult. I won't know what to do. I'll decide to change my approach. Instead of just listening for 2 hours a day, I will listen for 3 hours. Not only at home, but also when I'll be driving and while I'll be doing exercise. I won't notice any progress in the first 2 weeks, but after that, I'll see that my English will be improving again. That will be very exciting, and from that moment on, I'll try to listen to English audios at least 2 hours each day. Alright, it's the end of this point of view story. I use this successful method in my premium courses. Imagine a whole story told this way. Instead of having to memorize boring grammar rules, you can use this method to learn grammar. It's more enjoyable, but also more effective. Now you can improve your speaking and grammar with my fluency course, only by listening. Go to speakenglishpodcast.com/courses and start speaking English fluently once and for all. Well, that's it for today. I'll be back next week with a new episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy today's episode? Get the transcript now at speakenglishpodcast.com.